What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks, brought to you by Scores and Odds. If you haven't already signed up for Scores and Odds yet, just go sign up. It's free. I post picks. Sometimes Dean posts losing picks, so you can go the opposite side. There's free money to be made over there. Just go sign up. And also, we're going to be moving over to the Scores and Odds Twitter and YouTube channel, so make sure to follow Scores and Odds over on Twitter. Follow the YouTube channel. Subscribe over there. Like over on the RG channel. I don't know. Now that we got all the stuff out of the way, just go do it. It's really simple. It takes like 4 seconds. It's not that hard. And you can get this show and all my bets pretty much for free just by watching it. So go do it. I am joined by someone who I believe got something wrong, but actually got a few things right the other day. Think he ended up having a profitable day. Daniel Chevelson.
Yeah, thank you for making me feel welcome. I post losing bets. You can follow those too. Hey, you know what? If somebody was like an 80% loser, that's just as good as being an 80% winner. Just as long as you know it's on the losing side, just go the other way. That is just as valuable for sure. And yeah, my favorite bet last time I was on the show was Friday before Super Bowl, and I told you the next episode was going to be the song that opens the halftime medley, and that was a winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, you had that. You had Murray alt line over 12.5 assists. That hit. Thibault over 1.5 steals, hitting like the first half. Impressive. Boston -6 push. They made a late run.
That was rough, yeah.
But yeah. So you didn't have yourself a bad day there. I don't think you actually lost a bet outside the alt lines that you were thinking about.
I did
betting.
lose one. I don't remember what it was, but I did lose. There was a loser in the mix. I can't remember what it was though. We forget the losers.
Yeah, Jokic under 9.5 assists. I was on with you too.
That's what it was.
That was it. So yeah, still pretty solid outing there. But yeah, we got some bets to make here. I've already made a boatload of them. Had a pretty decent day the other day. I think. Let's see. Profit of G last show we had out. So yeah, things are starting to turn around. Things are going well. But yeah, these were the bets I had. Turned out pretty darn well. Yeah, and that's where we're at. I'm just going to get rid of these so they're not on the screen distracting people. And we got just real quickly, these 3 boosts over on Caesars are all solid, positive ROI. So if you want to bet them, go bet them. They're all right here. I'll be dropping them into the RG Discord later on the show. But let's just break right into this slate here. First bet I have is Kevin Looney over 15.5 points, rebounds, assists. I mean, Looney's in a pretty solid spot here going up against Denver. Like, obviously not a good matchup, but they're going to need some height going up against Jokic. He's been hitting this at a pretty decent clip. What are your thoughts on it, Daniel Chevelson?
You know, I'm going to be honest. I've not thought about Kevin Looney today. That's interesting. Yeah, against Denver, obviously you need some height, you need some girth, you need everything. Against Jokic. Jokic is the absolute best. And we know the absence of Draymond, it solidifies the minutes there for Looney as well. James Wiseman, I don't think he's been a minute all season long. Iguodala's still out as well. But I have not looked at that one, so I don't really have a take. But like in my head, he should probably play like 27, 28 minutes or so. What are we projecting for Looney today?
Let's see. What do we have projected for? Checking over here. We have him projected for 26 minutes. You look at the times where he's played 26 plus minutes. That one had 12 rebounds there, seven rebounds in all 3 of these games, 8, 10, and 2 points, 3, 1 assists. Before that, 12, 3, and 1. So he's hit this at like a 65, 70% clip recently. In all the games where he missed, I think he played under 20 minutes. Unless he gets into foul trouble, I don't foresee him playing under 20 minutes.
It's a good thing he's not playing against Jokic. Oh, wait, he is. That's kind of a problem. But like he's not historically a guy that's like super handsy. I pulled up our projection stuff for Looney, by the way. We are projecting 26 minutes, like you said, but specific as far as actually the breakdown, 7.5 points, 8.5 boards. So that's 16, 2.5 assists. So we're looking at 18.5. You said the number was, what, 15.5, 16.5?
15.5.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'll allow it.
Yeah, we have him projected for 18.88, so pretty solid overall ROI there. Next thing that I bet, Justin Holiday over points and plus rebounds, 11.5, over 13.5 points, rebounds, assists. So, I mean, that just seems a little bit low. He's like obviously potential blowout going up against Chicago, as Daniel thinks. We'll get to that later. But since he's gotten over to Sacramento, 12 shots, 8 shots, 11 shots. So, and 2 rebounds every single time. 2 and 4 assists. I like the PRA a little bit better, but like he didn't get there last game. He got there easily the game before. He got pretty much there or one away from there the game before that. Like he's more entrenched in the offense. Chicago's been giving up a boatload of points recently. They're not the same defensive team without Caruso and without
Ball.
Ball was the other guy in there. So they're just not quite the same team. Justin Holiday, like I don't love him for fantasy, but as far as his PRA and PR, like both of them are very solid lines over there at -110, -105, 11.5, and 13.5.
Yeah, and we're projecting 32 minutes, like you said, and it can get it even a little bit more solidified. Davion Mitchell is currently questionable right now for Sacramento, so that would weaken the backcourt as far as their depth even more. I do like the Bulls. We'll talk about that when our pre-show conversation was us basically arguing about that game, which was probably would have made more fun to be on there. People would have probably enjoyed that, but yeah, I think the Bulls are going to pummel the Kings tonight, but we'll get to that soon enough.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can get to that in a second. I got the over of DeMar DeRozan, 32.5 points. He's hit that in 7 straight, and it hasn't even really been close. Just been absolutely crushing at 40, 38, 35, 36, 38, 45, 31. Like, just been a ridiculous stretch. Usage has been sitting around 40%. Kings are dreadful on defense, and they go at a fast pace. Like, I like the over, but go ahead and tell me why you like the Bulls -6, which over at Fox Bet you can currently get. And guys, any questions you have, go ahead and throw them into the YouTube chat or into the Discord chat. We'll get through to them throughout the show. Yeah, tell me why you like the whatever it's called.
Well, I think that the DeRozan one's kind of wild because, again, if you're game log watching, which is, careful doing that, but the game logs have been completely insane for DeRozan. Like, he's making at least a run to join the conversation of MVP. I don't know where he's at right now, but I think he should be like probably in the Family Feud board. Maybe 7 people out of 100 say DeRozan, right?
I think he's at like 40-1. I think I hit that over on DraftKings a few days ago. I'm like, he's pretty much Embiid right now in terms of usage, and Embiid's going to drop like I don't think he's anywhere close to the favorite, but I'm trying to see what it's currently sitting at. 30-1 over on DK right now. I think I got it 40-1 a few days ago. Not entirely certain, but yeah, I think it's not a bad bet right now. I mean, I have a boatload of money on Jokic. I think Jokic is going to be the MVP. Like, they've been playing pretty well, and like, I think if they get a top 4 spot in the Western Conference, top 5 even, they can eat. Jokic should be the MVP.
Yeah, and it's all about should be, and like there's all sorts of variables. We've talked about this on previous shows about Jokic, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to get the respect that he probably deserves as being one of the best players in the entire league. And, if you take Jokic off of Denver and they're an absolute disaster, one of the worst teams in the entire league. And DeRozan, getting back to him, he's with the absence of Ball, the absence of Caruso and Levine and, Williams, he's out for the season. The usage has been crazy. The points have been insane too. Like, the books can't make it much higher than 32.5 points. And he's been super efficient. That has to be acknowledged. Like 16-24 last game, 12-24, 14-22, 13-19. That's probably not going to continue. You're not going to shoot at those ridiculous rates. But at the same time, like, Sacramento is one of the worst teams in all basketball defensively. That Davion Mitchell, one of the better defenders, is questionable tonight. Halliburton, one of their best defenders the entire season, is out the door. So, like, this doesn't really scream as a spot where it's going to slow down. And also the minutes are insane. So, like, that's one of the reasons why I like Chicago. Chicago's been a hot team going into the break. Sacramento sputtering. They lost to a completely horrific Brooklyn team the other night that was without, anybody that's like a competent NBA basketball player, just a bunch of role players, essentially. Sacramento has no spacing now. Again, the loss of Hield, the loss to Halliburton. Harry Barnes can hit a 3. They brought in Holiday. He's capable of hitting a 3, but like Sabonis, terrible for spacing. Harkless, terrible for spacing. Fox, terrible for spacing. And look, the Bulls' rotation is going to be condensed. And, they can play these guys a bunch of minutes. They didn't play yesterday. They're not playing tomorrow. They have the All-Star break coming up. So I don't think minutes are an issue. I think they're going to be fine to lock in DeRozan for like 37, 38, 39 minutes or something like that. And same thing with Vukovic. Why can't Vuk play close to 40 minutes tonight? Again, he can rest for the next 4 or 5 days, whatever it may be. I just think the Bulls are distinctly better, despite the fact they're missing players, because I think the Kings, we know that trade. Well, a lot of us think that trade was horrific, not just for today, but for 2, 3, 4 years down the road. Halliburton's only 21 years old. Congratulations, Pacers fans. Sabonis, fine NBA player, sure. But, I just don't see him being like the number one guy on a good team, and this Kings team is not a good team. I think the Bulls win this game by 10 plus. They win it running away.
Yeah, would not be surprised. But I'm slightly more on the Sacramento side if we were giving even money, but
yeah,
like Bulls are currently plus 100 over at Fox Bet right now. So if you want to play some money on that, Fox Bet's the place to go. Like everywhere else, it's sitting at minus 110. Like you can see right here, we have most of the lines out there, and the line moved to minus 5.5 over on MGM if you want to take that instead of Fox Bet. But yeah, so that's just kind of where it's at right now. A little scores and odds tool there. Let's see. I like Jokic under 8.5 assists. Averages like 7.8. Golden State's a good defensive team. Should be able to lock down everyone but Jokic. So like the under on that. I know we bet 9.5. I generally bet 9.5, but 8.5 is too low considering the matchup, or too high considering the matchup. Seth Curry under 5.5 assists. You got any thought on that one?
It's interesting. We have small samples there. Curry obviously joining the team just a couple days ago or whatever it is, but I think you also had. I'm trying to pull it up right now. As far as didn't you also have Mills, or was that the other day? I was looking at your sheet.
That was the other day. I had Mills overs that did not hit. But Curry's like in shoot first mode right now, not really passing the ball off a ton. Like he got 5 the other game, but that was against Sacramento. Obviously, the Knicks are an entirely different matchup, like much slower pace, much better defensively. Game could end up being a blowout. So even though I'm getting the line at minus 130, I still think it's a pretty solid line because I don't think he's going to be passing the ball a ton. I think Mills is going to be more of the distributor here. So I like the under of Seth Curry, 5.5 rebounds.
Not a lot of great shooters he's surrounded by either, which I guess is of note too. If you're getting assists, you need someone on the other end to close it out for you. But I think he is, and I was looking at that as far as ball handling. I think Curry's held the ball more than Mills has, was kind of the point that I was getting to. Yeah, so that was my concern as far as Patty Mills, and I saw you had an over on Mills, and I was like, that's wrong. Or not wrong, but that's something I'd be afraid of. But it looks like that was from a couple days ago, and I was looking at the wrong sheet. So
that's up there earlier.
Yeah, and New York obviously plays super, super slow. A few less possessions is not appealing. I don't have a hot take on that one, to be fair. That's just kind of like my thought process. But yeah, I don't have a stand on it.
Okay, well, I got a few more unders on assists. I got under Klay Thompson, 3.5 assists. I'm not gonna lie, I just straight up followed the prop model on that one. And under KCP, under 2.5 assists. I bet this the other day. I think it was the other day when you were on the show. Caldwell Pope proceeds to get 3 like in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And not a single one the rest of the game. Like we look at the game. That was the first. I've been hitting it pretty often. That was the first time that he hit the over on that in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. So he's hit it 1 in the last 10 games, hit 1 before that, and missed the prior 3. So I'm on it again tonight. Like I don't care if it's minus 150, under 2.5 assists. I don't think KCP gets there. Like he happened to have 3 potential assists, I think, in the last game, and all 3 made the bucket, and it was all in the first quarter. And then nothing after that. So I don't think he's going to pass.
The only caution I would say is that that's a game environment I don't necessarily want to bet unders on, but I do agree with your thought process.
Yeah, so speaking of that game environment and betting overs, like I have Halliburton over 29.5 PRA. He's smashed that every game he's played for Sacramento. I have Halliburton over 17.5 points. I think he's hit that all 3 games. Halliburton over 8.5 assists. He missed that the very first game. Didn't really have a ton of chemistry with the Pacers. Ended up at 6. I actually bet over 6.5. Did not hit, but 8.5. Like look at his last 2 games. I think he hit this last night. I think I bet it last night. I know I bet PRA and PA and he hit both of those. I only had 8 assists last night. I still like the over of 8.5, but 16 the prior game. It's a match versus Washington. This game should stay close. Both teams are not great, although the Pacers have been surprisingly keeping games close. Like I like the over on all those Halliburton lines. You with me?
Yeah. I mean, I love Halliburton. I think he's awesome. I mean, I love his prospects going forward. I don't know how he's going to be in this Indiana team, but the most important thing, Brogdon, by the way, officially out. I don't know if you're sitting down, but they actually ruled him out. Like,
yeah, I saw that, and I don't know if the lines have moved at all. I'm gonna check. Go ahead and keep talking. I'm gonna check this out and see.
I got to assume that Vegas was thinking what everybody else was thinking. It was the worst kept secret that Brogdon was not going to play. Like, he hasn't played in forever. He's been questionable, then out, questionable, out forever. And like, why in the world would they go out there and play Brogdon the game before the All-Star break and give him 5 more days? And I'm not even certain he's going to come back the first game after the All-Star break. So I assume that Vegas was aware, or at least assuming that he was not going to play. Like, I know our projection team was over that as well. And the other one, of course, is Duarte. Duarte not playing. Ricky Rubio, of course, he's not going to play at all. Not playing for the foreseeable future with that ACL. So it is the Halliburton show there in Indiana, and Washington's a pretty positive opponent. They are slight favorites at a pretty high total. So, I'm on board with that one. I did see this one on your list, and it's not comfortable. But I guess I'll tout it, and I'll give you a second to pull up. You want to pull up. But Trey Mann, over 14.5 points in the bucket. And I think he had points and assists at 16.5.
Yeah, I didn't actually end up betting PRA. I'm not against PRA. Actually, our SAO prop model that I've got right here.
Yeah.
Let's see, it's still up here. It doesn't look like it's up anymore. It's just probably it's they had him up for the over PRA. They got a few bets that I bet here. I mean, Buddy Hyde, thinking about betting over 4.5 rebounds. I bet the Looney. I bet Gary Trent over points. I bet Holiday overs.
Are you assuming Van Vliet sits? Or you think it's fine either way, but if he sits,
Van Vliet's, I think, doubtful. He's very, very questionable was the thing. He was in street clothes during shoot-arounds. But yeah, bet the over on Booker. Let's see. I've not bet some of these. It just got updated not too long ago. Bet the over on Jokic or under on Jokic. Winslow, I'm not sure. Prop model really likes this. I'm not sure if I'm going to go there. Fox under 5.5 assists. I might bet that. I bet Seth Curry under 5.5 assists. The points in the PA for Sabonis, I don't hate that. Clay, already bet that under 3.5. I might bet a few more of those after the show. But we're focusing on this right now. Yeah, Trey Mann over 16.5 points, assists. Over on points of 14.5 is also pretty solid. I didn't love it, because he just has not been fantastic recently. But, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I know this game will could probably turn into blowout, but it's any OKC, the Spurs can either blow guys out or
keep career high. I got to assume 30 is his career high, is it not, in the Garden?
Yeah. He got 29 versus Dallas, strangely enough.
Okay, well, there you go.
But the prior games, 8 points, 1 assist, 2 points, 2 points, 2 assists, 11 points, 4 assists. So he hasn't been hitting at a huge clip, but I have to assume without Dort in there.
Yeah, the important thing, it's not even – okay, so SGA's been out for a while. Dort's been out for several games. Now, in addition to that, JRE is, of course, out. Muscala's out. Those are bigs. They don't matter nearly as much. And OKC's one of those teams, they just don't really run out of bodies. They always seem to have, at least 10 or 11 or 12 guys available. Lindy Waters III is a person that may get some run today, which I love. I had to Google, make sure it is a real person. It's incredible. Theo Maledon, who's been with the G League team for a while, he's a guy that's going to get some run, but we're projecting 33 minutes here at Trey Mann. And it's, again, not just Dort, not just SGA, not JRE, not Muscala, but in addition, and Rich Williams, a wing, and then Ty Jerome is out also. So, yeah, they are going to be super, super thin. San Antonio, middling defense, 5th fastest pace in all of basketball. We're projecting, if you trust our projections, 33 minutes, 18.5 points in the bucket, which is well over 14.5. Yeah, and I think the last game was overtime. If you want to use that, whatever. I'm not even just going by that. Yeah, he scored 30 points, good for him. But it's just, he's gonna have to have the ball in his hands a reasonable amount. I was looking at the usage stuff, and I was kicking guys off the court, and I meant to write it down, and I did not write it down. But It was decent, if I remember correctly, but I did not note it for whatever reason. But their two biggest usage guys, or two of their biggest guys, Dort and SGA being out. And I'm curious what your thoughts are on Giddey. I didn't commit to this one.
So, yeah, someone just asked in chat thoughts on Giddey over 33.5 points, assists, rebounds. I'm looking up where the best line is. I think they took him down, and looks like -105 over at Caesars, or you can get it at 32.5. When it's that big of a difference in juice, I generally take it. Caesars and MGM, me and them are not on good terms right now. Let me put it this way. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And it's no secret. You win, you get banished, or you get limited to I don't know. I guess we can pull it up with MGM. I can show. Let's see. MGM. There you are. Going to sign in so you guys don't see my login on the other screen. But, and you may see on the sheet, I have some Caesars lines. That's just because it's the best. I'm trying to give you guys the best lines. It's that simple. So, yeah, let's see. I'll try and make a bet on Giddey over PRA, where this is the best line. So let's check it out.
They'll let you bet $7 or something like that. Is that what's going to happen?
My guess is they generally limit me to 25, so 500. If they actually let me get this in, I'll be ecstatic. $24.93.
25 is too much. 93 cents. It's outrageous.
Yeah. So not even worth my time.
So I think it's worth acknowledging, and we're talking about, obviously Giddey he's running the show in the absence of everybody. We talked about but the projections are higher. You got to hit a bigger threshold for Giddey. But a few 4 or 5 games ago, whatever it was, the coach, the GM, there was some sort of they said, look, we're going to limit him to roughly 30 minutes. So he's rookie. OKC's going nowhere. They're kind of sort of somewhat tanking. The tanking basically takes care of himself because the team is horrific and they're hurt and all that kind of stuff. But and they stuck to that, right? 30 minutes, 29 minutes, 24 minutes. But then he played 33 versus the Bulls, and then he played 39 versus the Knicks. Again, 39 versus the Knicks. 5 of those minutes were overtime, but he was playing 34 and 33. And I think the way to break that down is, I don't want to say that they're flat out liars. Maybe they are. Teams lie sometimes. I think what they were doing is they were playing him in garbage time, and they were playing him in games where they were getting walloped and still getting him his run. And maybe they were just kind of saying, maybe. We're not going to let him play in garbage time beyond 30 minutes. I think that might have been it, but I don't know. He only played 24 versus Philadelphia, where they lost by 13. I don't know how rough it was in the fourth quarter there. But we're projecting 33 minutes for him, is kind of the point we're getting. And we were projecting 30 a few games ago. Do you assume, what is your take? Do you just assume it's if the game is close, he can play 32, 33, 34? Because I think that's the case.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm going to hit the Giddey line. I'm trying to figure out where the best line is.
5-1 for a triple-double, I saw. You think that's interesting? He's the youngest person ever, the second youngest person ever, and the third youngest person ever to get a triple-double. He's got 3.
I don't hate that line. FanDuel has it -115 at 32.5, it looks like. Superbook has it. There we go. Superbook has it -106.
What's Superbook?
It's another sports book.
Yeah, I've never heard. Is that a Colorado thing, or are they statewide or countrywide?
I think they were originally a big Vegas sports book, but I know they're in Colorado because I'm betting them. They have honestly I've been betting them a lot recently. They're generally slow to react to things. Let's see. Giddey. Where are you at? The app's not great. It's one of those apps where it's just so tough to find so many things. But they got -106. Yeah, so I'm putting 500 on that right now. No, it just moved to -108 as I was trying to bet it.
You move the needle, man. People are watching this show and you're moving the needle.
Yeah. Sometimes it just happens. Whenever you on the spreadsheet, by the way, guys, site is SB is Superbook. But then other things I bet. Let's see. I just started doing this every night now because 2 out of 3 hits, sometimes 3 out of 3 hits. But Booker over 25.5 points, Chris Paul over 14.5 points, DeAndre Ayton over 16.5 points. Bet them all last night. Ayton shot terribly and missed. Paul and Booker hit. But all of them seem like they're a little bit too low. And different sites, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but different sites have pretty drastically different lines for them. So I think they're kind of taking the Suns point spread and kind of spreading it out between those 3 players. So different sites allocate the numbers differently. So like on FanDuel, I got Ayton for 16.5 at -112. Chris Paul at Rivers -112. And then Booker -106 over at FanDuel. So all 3 of those guys I've seen at like -125 on certain sites. So
it's a back-to-back and it's a scheduled blowout, right? Like, is that?
Yeah, I know that, but I'm less worried about betting the over on points when it comes to the favored team blowing out the other team. And Houston's like 124.75 implied team total. Like, I didn't think I would bet like doing the morning grind last night. I was talking about bets. I'm like, I don't know about that. Now I'm on board for it. So I bet all 3 of those. Another guy that I want your input on, Simons over 21.5 points, -115 at win. Way better line than other places right now. So if you're going to bet it at WinBet. But Simons has been just incredible. Ja is questionable. Like, Simons 24, 23, 23 shot attempts in the last 3 games, 31, 30, 29 points. Like, even if he regresses, then he could still hit. If he doesn't regress and it's a blowout, he still hits. It's sitting at 11.5 point spread. I think that Portland probably covers if Ja doesn't play. So Simons, like, he's going to play a boatload of minutes if this game stays close. 30 or 21.5 is too low of a line.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like the over in that. Do you want Ja to play or do you not want the Ja to play? Because I don't know. Like, Ja, they have a better chance of blowing him out, right? But he's also not known for
I would rather have
prowess.
Yeah, no, that is true, but I don't think it matters. Simons is going to shoot regardless. The blowout's what worries me because he's got Simons, whether Tyus Jones is on him, Bain is on him, whoever's on him, he's going to have the volume, and so I don't care. Like, I would rather Ja sits, but either way, I still like the over on this. And then another guy on the team, Josh Hart, has been crushing it. Like, his role in this offense, I have the over of 16.5 points. I think that's far too low. He had 16 and 12 shots the last 2 games, 27 and 23 points. Like, he's getting to the line a bit. He's shooting threes. Like, this Portland team may not be good.
It's not.
But you're not wrong. But they chuck enough threes and they have enough decent 3-point shooters where they can keep any game close. Let's see. Easy says Suggs under 5.5 assists. Let's check it out here. Jalen Suggs. We haven't projected for over 5.5 assists here. I can refresh here, but the projection is definitely higher on his. Unless this, he has a project for the over. I mean, I probably would stay away from that bet if I were you. Going up against Atlanta, they're not great at guarding guards. I'm guessing Trey will probably be on Suggs, and that's not going to work well. He's hit this 2 out of his last 3 games. I mean, it's probably not really a huge positive ROI situation, is what I'm saying.
I don't have a hot take on it. I think it's just the numbers kind of right, basically. And I mean, I'm not going to talk anybody out of it, but I'm not going to push anybody on it either. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Keep moving through my bets. Buddy Hyde over 17.5 points. Buddy loves to shoot. Like, he has the most, like, whatever it's called with Halliburton, most history.
Continuity.
Yeah, continuity. There we go. Thank you. I was looking for that word. But 36 in the last game. Shot horrible. 1 for 13 from beyond the arc in the game before that, but 20, 19, and 17 shot attempts. He's going to shoot. It's against Washington. It's a good matchup. I like the over on that. I like the over of Conley, 5.5 assists. I think that's one I picked up from the SAO prop model. Conley, like, with everyone back in there, going up against Lakers. Pretty solid overall matchup. 10 assists in the last game. Like, the matchup's really what got me. I'm banging the over. You with me on that one?
I just want to walk back to Hield for a second. First of all, like if you watch the Grinders live yesterday, I was talking about Hield having a great matchup against Milwaukee. Milwaukee yields a bunch of threes, and he's going to shoot a whole bunch. And I did not play him, and I'm so mad at myself. And I thought he was an awesome bet, like for if you can. I mean, you could bet 5 or 6 or 7 threes. I think you'd have like 7 or 8 or something like that. But what if I told you Washington is a terrible matchup for Buddy Hield?
They don't allow a ton of threes. Well, you have to realize that this lineup is entirely different. So you look at Washington, full season numbers, they're without Beal, they're without Dinwiddie, they're without Harrell, they're without Bertans, they're without pretty much everyone. They've had a non-congruent lineup pretty much all season long because of injuries. And the trades just made it entirely different too. So the reason why they don't allow a bunch of threes is generally, I think, because Dinwiddie is actually a solid defender. He can lock down the guy on the outside that might.
I don't think Dinwiddie's a solid defender. I think it's a system thing, but I'm not sure. It's kind of my official answer, but I just think it's an interest. I'm just throwing out the warning flag is like no team gives up less 3-point attempts than Washington. And Washington gives up the second least amount of 3-pointers made. But I don't know if that's the system or if it's because of the pieces. Obviously, the pieces are different.
And you're looking at full season numbers. The first quarter of the season, they were one of the best defensive teams in the league, if I remember correctly.
Well, I mean, I'm just speaking to the 3-pointers attempted. That's just attempts, not even made, just attempts. It's the least. So just maybe it's a system thing.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
I don't know what they're doing now. Obviously, it's a transition period for them, and they're just kind of figuring stuff out. And like, I don't know how Neto is somebody that's suppressing threes. And even looking at the last couple of games, I don't know if it's worth it because, like, there's small samples and depending on your opponents and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not saying you can't play Hield. I just think that's something to be aware of, I guess. Just wanted to point it out.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad thing to point out, but like anytime I see those things, I'm like, all right, I know this team is entirely different than it was 2 months ago. Like, it's just straight up an entirely different team. No Harrell, no Beal, no Dinwiddie. That's 3 of their biggest pieces now gone. So I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Kispert's not a great defender. But KCP is a known good defender, right? Like, we know he's a wing that actually can play good defense. And I imagine they would throw him on Buddy Hield, but I don't know. Not really sure because like Neto and Halliburton sounds like rough too. And I don't know where they hide Kispert because that dude's not much of a defender. So yeah.
So I'm disregarding that, and Buddy's going to shoot no matter what. Buddy likes to shoot. Halliburton likes to shoot. They're going to shoot. Just that simple. I bet curling.
Oh,
Canada, Italy parlay with a 25% profit boost.
Like, you ever watch it? You ever watch curling?
Oh, fudge, yeah.
If you were going to take up curling, would you want to be the guy the pusher or like the sweeper or the director? What's your role?
Oh, I would 100% be the pusher.
You just push it and you're done. And then the sweeper, it's all up slowing it down, moving it faster.
One of my buddies decided one random year that he was going to like practice curling every single day and try and get on the curling team. I think he actually holds the Guinness record of longest grape cotton mouth throw.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the record?
I don't know. Let's see.
It's a fascinating sport to watch. I haven't watched any Winter Olympics, by the way. Have you watched any Winter Olympics? I've watched I watched a little bit after the Super Bowl because it was still on. I think it was
I got drunk at my buddy's place. I think it was like last Friday or the Friday before, Saturday maybe. I don't know. And he threw on the Olympics. I'm like, okay, I need to watch this. I should probably be watching this. Oh, Killer B in the chat. Oh man,
what's up, Killer B?
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Are you in a legal betting state, Killer B?
I think he's in Minnesota. I would guess he's in Minnesota.
I know he was in
Wisconsin.
Minnesota. I know he was traveling around for a little bit. I don't know. Like I can't remember if those. I never visit those state. Florida. He's in.
He's in Florida. Where's he at in Florida?
Yeah, where are you at in Florida?
Represent. Not a legal betting state for the record. It was for about a month. It was a good run.
Let's see. Last few bets before we get on out here. And guys, again, go subscribe to the SAO YouTube channel and follow SAO. Fort Lauderdale, nice. And follow SAO on Twitter because this show, if you like the show, it's going to be off the RG feed and on the SAO feed eventually. So go sign up and go sign up for SAO Premium. Let's see. Gary Trent over 20.5 points. I don't think Van Vliet plays. Pretty solid overall spot for them going up against Minnesota. 115 applied team total. Easy. I'm betting the over of 20.5 points. Go Bear.
But I had a thought for specific to like Freddie Van Vliet being Vliet. Did I say Fleet like the band? FVV is questionable. LeBron is questionable tonight. Like the guys that are questionable today, last game before the All-Star break, and guys that are All-Stars, I presume FVV is going to be at the All-Star game and he wants to take part. I think it's his first time. LeBron, the team's named after him. I assume he's going to be there as well. Do you think there's like some sort of, I don't want to say inherent pressure, but like they should probably play for their team if they're going to play in the All-Star game 3 days down the road? But you're also saying he's probably not going to play, but maybe like he's hurt today and fine in 3 days as far as FVV. Do you understand what I'm asking here?
Yeah, I don't think LeBron plays. I don't think FVV plays.
Why don't you? So that's okay. If you don't think LeBron plays, and like the Lakers have been a disaster, I'm not blaming LeBron, but whatever. They've been a disaster, however you want to phrase it. And then he says, go to the All-Star game and have fun, and and again, I'm not saying he shouldn't do that. It's great for the league. He's a great representative and all that kind of stuff. But perception-wise, it's like, wait, this guy's playing in the All-Star game, and he didn't play for his real team 3 days ago. You think he's?
3 days is a pretty decent difference, and
okay.
Like All-Star game isn't a normal game. Like I don't think he's going to be doing much strenuous stuff.
It's an ESPN game too. Like I just assume LeBron's going to play. I'm surprised, also because LeBron typically does play. Like he generally goes, unless like otherwise he's got like something legit serious. Like he's been dealing with his injury. I think this is the one he's kind of been beat up all season long. He is 37 after all. But what makes you think LeBron doesn't play tonight?
Just because he needs to rest a little bit. Like they need it, but like he I can't remember what he actually came out something like in an interview. What's his injury right now? It's not an ankle. It's
the body part he is nursing is I believe he's got a knee. Yeah, it's a knee he's dealing with.
Okay, yeah. So just needs more rest is what he kind of said. He's like, it's like last year with my ankle. The only thing that can fix it is time, but I don't really have that luxury to sit right now. So I feel like if he's going to sit a game, it should be the game before the All-Star break. That's just my thought. But regardless, I like Gobert over 24.5 points/rebounds. Far too low going up against the Lakers. Like, no one's stopping Gobert here. He's going to he might get 24, 25 rebounds.
Did they dust off Howard for this game?
Maybe. I don't even know. But
I'm not saying it necessarily matters, but like I'm just trying to think matchup wise. And Davis has talked about how he doesn't like playing the 5, but like they're probably best with Davis playing the 5. But if LeBron doesn't play, maybe they move Davis down to the 4 and they start Howard. I don't know. Just thinking it out loud. This Laker team. Hey, I have one. By the way, why don't you just bet Anthony Davis overs if you think that LeBron's not going to play?
I don't know if this game stays close. I still may.
Yeah.
But like, what's the line sitting at right now?
I haven't looked at it because I thought LeBron was going to play. The actual game line is the Lakers are like at 4.5 or 5 point dogs, and that's the other part. If you think LeBron's not going to play, hit the Utah side. Yeah.
I could be wrong. I don't have a strong take on it, but the line's line at 22.5 points. It's not like it's an even matchup for Davis going up against Gobert.
By the way, both questionable, and they're both going to get shellacked by Phoenix, whether they play or they don't play. Phoenix is going to crush them.
Yeah, I'm feeling less good about all my overs because they might not play the second half.
Maybe bet it over on Şengün or something.
Yeah, I don't know. But my last bet, I ended up hitting that Giddey over 33.5 PRA, and then Steph Curry over 6.5 assists. Thoughts on that?
I did not delve into that, but off the top of my head, that sounds okay. Yeah, I think
2, 8, 10, 2, 8. or 2, 8, 10, 2, 10, 7, 9, 8. So he's hit it in most of his last 8 games. I just think it's a solid overall line, and it's moved to 7.5 a lot of spots. I got a win at -125 when I was saying it like -150 in other spots. So yeah, that's pretty much the show.
I got something else. You want any? I have a couple. Let's see.
Lay it on me.
By the way, Giddy is 6-1 for a triple double tonight. I don't know if there's enough value in that, but it's just, I guess, interesting. I don't hate it, but there's probably not enough value in that. But we talk about DeRozan going crazy of late, like scoring a bunch of points and all that kind of stuff. You know who else is doing that? Julius Randle. Randle. Go ahead.
He's been crushing it. He's been absolutely destroying the world. Like, I don't know what is his rebound prop.
Well, I didn't think into his rebounds. I'm talking his points specifically, over 24.5 on DK. It's -112. No less than 20 shots or 28 points in his last 6 games. The absence of Derrick Rose, the absence of RJ Barrett. Off the court, we see a bump of usage of 2.3% all the way up to 30.4%. It's a national TV game, in-state rival against Brooklyn. There's nobody on that Brooklyn side that's going to subdue them. If you think Andre Drummond is, you're out of your mind. That's not going to happen. LMA, not happening. They didn't play yesterday. They're not playing tomorrow. Last game before the break. Tibbs, it's an ESPN game, so you get additional commercials, a little bit more rest. Maybe he plays 40, 41 minutes or so. As far as the minutes, it's been at least 37, 38, 39. There's one blowout in there, but he's going to play basically 40 minutes against a bad Brooklyn team. I'll take over 24.5 points.
Yeah, it's +104 over at FanDuel. I am going to hit that right now.
Is it 25.5 or 24.5?
24.5.
And it's +104?
-104.
Oh, even still, that's I think that's pretty good. I would hit that.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, obviously, pretty solid matchup versus Brooklyn. Hitting that 500 to win 480. I don't know, over 24.5. Probably should put points on there. 500 pays 980.77.
By the way, I saw it's 680 plus 680 over 35 points. 35 points or more. What do you think? On DK.
Plus 680. I don't hate that.
I don't hate it. It was a 40 or more was 17-1. Like, come on, man. Like, why not?
So what'd you say the odds were?
I think it was 17-1, 1700 at 40 plus.
What was 35 plus?
35 plus was plus 680.
Yeah, 750 over at what's it called? Over at FanDuel. And then
hit that, man. Hit it. Ladder it up.
Yeah. I don't know. Every time you tell me to do that, it turns out poorly.
Every time.
Every time.
50% of the time it works. No, wait, not 60% of the time it works every time. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, it's been fun. Again, sign up for the Scores and Odds YouTube channel. Sign up for Scores and Odds. Follow on Twitter. At least do the YouTube and the Twitter thing if you want to keep seeing this show. Otherwise, they're just going to shut it down if no one's watching over there. But yeah, Brett has a question. Moral dilemma on Prize Picks. Play Prize Picks. Just do it. Like, the easiest thing to do on Prize Picks is literally pick props that are sitting at like -150. Like, take the under on KCP, 2.5 assists. Take the under on Clay, 2.5 assists, and then take the over on Steph Curry, 6.5 assists. Boom. There's your Prize Picks for the day.
What did he say? It was a dilemma?
I don't know. He doesn't know what the moral dilemma is. He hasn't said it.
Use the promo code Grinders.
Celtics and Sixers could make bets 5 to 6 minutes after game started last night. Do you fire away? Yeah, that was a weird one. I think sports bank sites might have been the same.
What happened?
The Celtics game, it was scheduled to start at 7 Eastern time, I believe. I noticed this too. And that means that they're starting at 7:10, right? Like, they always start 10 minutes after. But they start at like 7:03 for some reason. I mean, their fault. I probably would have fired, but that's just me.
That's because it was a national TV game, by the way. Sometimes you get those ESPN games starting early, or those TNT games starting early. Well, we say earlier than normal. Like, baseball, first pitch is 8:07. It's 8:07. There's the first pitch. Basketball, sometimes it's like 8:08. Sometimes it's 8:04, 8:09. You never really know. But those national TV games, you'll sometimes they'll start like earlier than you think.
Yep. All right. Yeah, that's the show, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back again after the All-Star break. I'm going skiing.
Where are you going?
The entire staying at the Park Hyatt Beaver Creek this weekend, and then probably skiing Breckenridge Tuesday and Thursday, or Tuesday and Wednesday rather.
Are you training for the next Winter Olympics?
No.
Oh.
I just like to go fast.
Don't tear anything, man.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I broke any bone, well, one was basketball. I broke my wrist, and then I broke my arm skiing when I was like 8. But yeah, it's fun.
I tore my ACL playing basketball.
That's too bad.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, guys, it's been fun. Thanks for joining me, Daniel. We're out of here. See you.